anybody that is more universally liked by the community in the pro scene than GH.
No, absolutely not. He's amazing.
So his,
he's
how to say,
awesome.
there's no polarization. Everybody just thinks GH is a...
Yeah, if you think otherwise, you're a psychopath. As Noob, inside of the Lotus area, gets off the Burrow Strike, but will fall shortly after. So Nightfall and Panto successful in that engagement, and that puts 1 kill on the board for Aurora. So, sorry, I actually missed the entire point of what you were talking about. Why were you bringing that up? Is Mira slowed here?
Nice Funhouse Mirror dodge on the last word damage.
Gets off the open wounds from Ghost, though he's going to continue on here. Already has the HP from the first kill he got, which is always, it feels good for Lifestealer players.
I don't really remember the conversation anymore, so I don't think it was important.
No. Nobody does.
I don't know why you would loop back around to it. You didn't care to begin with. You're just pretending.
That's true, actually.
Yep.
You know me too well.
That's right.
GH and Mira having a 1v1 support battle for the ages, and GH will win that and get extra int as a result.
Yep.
The Brain Drain has begun. They should just rename that to Brain Rot. I think that's more fitting for the scene that we're all in.
Yep.
Plenty of players have Brain Rot just without playing Dota.
Yeah, I was going to say you need a special type of Brain Rot to play Silencer, but you actually don't. I don't think that hero is particularly... You know, there's like a type of heroes that just has a type of player on them. Silencer is not one of the ones that falls into the category of, you know.
Well, that's the thing. We talked about the facet, how great it is. If there was that type of a player, they would be picking him without the good facet, right? And that is just not the case. Still waiting for the carry Silencer with the other facet, though, where you cannot be silenced. Really strong.
Really strong.
Really good.
Say that.
Try
to say it without laughing.
The whip was
big damage.
Mira's still going to get completely zoned out. We'll get the whoopee cushion to the low ground.
Almost
the
cushioned too
curse.
early there.
Yeah, that was a close one. He's got this calculated,
the creep wave is still following him.
Better be careful, young man.
Well,
assuming I won't be able to connect in all likelihood.
So in that trade, GH really leveraging the fact that he had the creep wave advantage on his side, just telling him, oh my god, he's actually going to have to chase him down and kill him.
He actually is.
In disbelief here.
That is insane. More brain rot
really well
in
done.
favor of GH.
Nicely done. Yeah. He's very much so pressuring this Ringmaster in this top lane. I'm very impressed so far.
Let me ask you a question. Go ahead and continue your thought process, because I know you can't do more than one thing at a time.
That's okay.
You forgot what you were going to say.
No. I'm wondering if Mira is a little bit autopiloting here, because as Ringmaster you used to, I am the boss position 4, I will fight the 5.
Yeah.
But Silencer is actually one of the very few 5s that can take you on in that 1v1 fight. And he's overplaying his hand a little bit. He's 0-3. This is pretty uncharacteristic for Mira minute 6.
Yeah, that's true.
That he has multiple deaths. And it's not because he's been like surprised or rotated on, or, you know, it's kind of just lost to GH.
Oh, nice dual breath on to Nightfall. Feels like he's been on low HP the entire laning stage, thanks to that early engagement.
Yep.
But his CS has not suffered Cinderant. Second overall in the game, top of his team. Which is really good news for Aurora fans. And on the other side, the Lifestealer, Mr. Ghost. Despite getting that kill, 21 and 5 CS is the lowest of all the cores right now.
Yeah, there's just a lot of denies on the Magnus. What can you say? You're playing at an inherent massive disadvantage in terms of CSing, right? The Magnus has currently 120 damage, and you have 68. It's not fair, you know? This is not...
Yeah, Lifestealer hits pretty softly at the beginning of the game, for sure.
And if nothing else, this is what Mira accomplished top by fighting GH the whole time. Is that Toronto Tokyo got to more or less play a 1v1 against Lifestealer, and Magnus is going to win that every time on just raw CS. You just can't. You can't compete with the level 3 in power.
Yep. Nope. He's found out.
Wave.
Dust applied as Mira going to miss the knife, but the whip is there. Finally getting something on the board for himself. Ghost in the meantime with the help of GH onto Toronto Tokyo. He does have Skewer, which he will expend. But Ghost doing a nice job of creating some good space here.
Yeah, they got to pressure him as soon as Mira shows for that kill bottom. You can't let Magnus hit a creep after that. Just bully him away in your 2v1 situation. Leveraging the numbers. And this will give Ghost some nice me time up here on the Lifestealer. This hero, as we established, it needs time. I found this hero in general to actually be very underwhelming for a while, but it did start to pick up some steam in 738.
The Ag,
especially
man.
because of some core matchups. But yeah, you don't have that core matchup in this game that you were hoping for, right?
Yeah, it feels like he's been used a lot as anti-carry almost.
Yes, exactly.
And then the Ags doesn't disarm anymore, so that is a huge loss for Lifestealer players. It did feel kind of random as a design choice for him. So once it got too strong, they nixed it. Now he does more damage essentially because he lasts a little bit longer in there. Or no, sorry, he just gets more hits off.
Yep.
So going for like these raw damage items for the late game end up feeling a lot better. If you do go the Ags route at some point.
Yeah, that's the thing though, right? I feel like most of the time we don't even see Lifestealer buy the item anymore.
Yeah, it feels like a fourth, maybe fifth item in a lot of these games.
Because you need to... The games in which you pick this hero, you pick it specifically, like you said, as a core-to-core matchup against a hero like Tiny, if you were expecting that to be carry. Then you're investing all of your net worth into how am I going to destroy Tiny in fights. And that's not going to be the Ags most of the time. It's just going to be being tanky and hitting harder consistently. So items like AC or no crits or whatnot.
Kiyotaka, the Ava toss onto the Tinker, back into the arms of Nightfall. Panto gets that one, but nice pick off for Aurora. Yeah, I think the Lifestealer versus PA matchup without that Ags disarm feels pretty bad these days.
Pretty one-sided, honestly.
I feel like it's, I mean, Lifestealer does not really want to go MKB generally.
He's going to have to, though.
But he has to, as like a third, fourth item.
He's going to have to go that or Bloodthorn, but the problem with Bloodthorn is it's just not reliable enough anymore, I think, to... Because in this game, PA can probably hold her BKB quite long. Because what's going to kill her except the Lifestealer once she gets to a later portion?
GH casually taken out by Kiyotaka. Sumail, though, finds a support in the form of Mira. It'll be a trade.
Cool little interaction there.
Now.
The X mark. Oh, hang on. Let's see if Kiyotaka can play his way out of this one.
Yeah, well, Ghost doesn't do much damage, so...
Unless they get another X.
And the Avalanche just for safety measure. We'll get to the high ground.
So the Escape Act box has a maximum reach. As soon as you move 500 units away from the original location of the box, it breaks. So Sumail actually pulled him out of Escape Act with X mark, which is kind of interesting. Could maybe come into play later against a situation where you maybe try to save a core on Ringmaster. In addition to that, Sumail also managed to steal the enemy stacks on the hard camp. This is what largely is pulling him ahead right now. By a few hundred over the Tiny was that stack.
Yeah, he's having a very good start to this game. In fact, the only member, I would say, of NGX off to a good start. Goes for the Blade Mail, so wants to get active pretty early. We've been seeing, what was Blade Mail into Radiance in the last time. Are you expecting the same type of build here?
Yeah, probably. It's just
so what's the build from Lifestealer these days? If it's not Armlet Radiance.
I mean, we've seen some Armlet SNY builds. We've seen Armlet Deso sometimes. We've seen Armlet Radiance. But yeah, like you said, if the Kunkka is going Radiance, you are not. So in this game...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I don't know. That's what's a little bit tough for me in this one, is that if you get Deso, you're only really getting it for yourself and a little bit of Kunkka damage. You don't have this, like, hell yeah, my offlaner's going to love that I have minus armor.
Yeah. It feels like Deso and then having to go MKB later is a lot of the same.
I mean, can you go Armlet MKB? Is that a thing?
It's a bit weird, but you might have to, because...
Armlet BKB, MKB maybe?
Well,
so you have staying power?
I think SNY you have to get this game, right? Because BKB is not going to do it all with the RP at the ready.
Yeah, he's queuing up Radiance, so maybe the Kunkka just doesn't get it then.
Okay.
I'm also okay with that solution, and then Sumail will go a different route. I'm curious to see what he's going to buy then. Panto will get
in
spotted.
The trees.
And
will be. Ice Path onto both targets, though. This should be inevitable. As Kiyotaka takes out Yamich. Actually, Macropyre is going to go off along with the Global Silence, and looks like the Jakiro and company will have to exit. As one kill for NGX here. They're going to get a second in the form of Mira, so Sumail with a double. Now the Avalanche from Kiyotaka. This will be a big, big kill for Aurora if they're able to get it, and they should be able to in a 3 versus 1. So killing spree ended for Sumail.
That honestly was a decent outcome for Nigma Galaxy, I would say. Sure, Sumail ends up dying in the end, but Ghost is completely free farming top and taking the tier 1 tower and forcing a TP rotation from Jakiro, which is not going to defend this, by the way, mind you. That's a solid overall outcome for them, for sure. And this is, I think this is the ideal thing that can happen in the game right now for Nigma Galaxy, is that Sumail gets very active and they try to play off of GH's good start with an early global silence and try to find some fights when they can. Because they know Ghost is going to be AFK up here for another 10 minutes because he's Lifestealer and therefore he's AFK. I have my own personal biases against playing with this hero. It's very, sometimes it can be a bit frustrating. You just know you have to wait.
Yeah, I've never heard you so angry talking about something.
Maybe that's a... If this is me being angry, I'm a very peaceful person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty true, but...
Unless you're playing World of Warcraft, of course.
Okay. Then I get really upset, apparently. Yeah. Fair enough. Still nothing in the quick buy for Sumail. I'm still wondering what he's going to go for here. Is he going to rush something like a Shiva's? Is he going to go... I don't think Ags is really on the table here, but...
That is a nice stack, though. Kiyotaka getting most of these.
Yeah, Tiny with Empower as well. It's just...
Yeah, they have two good targets. And Kiyotaka, you can see his net worth is by far #1 at the moment, and this is one of the scariest heroes to go up against when they start to snowball. But overall, still only a 1K lead for Aurora at the moment.
Oh, nice find here for Nigma Galaxy, potentially. They'll find Nightfall bottom. They'll use Global
Silence. Nightfall is dead.
Well
TP's come in.
Yes.
Will they be able to get anyone? GH with the TP. Noob looks to be the sacrifice, but well worth it for NGX.
Without a doubt. I think that was...
Force out all these TPs as well.
Exactly. You trade Sand King for PA plus, was that 3 TPs? I think all 3 of them ported down here, actually. A bit of maybe a defensive over-rotation, you could argue, from Aurora. But in the heat of the moment, you're just going to bring people there to try to salvage the situation. Yeah, another little win here for Nigma Galaxy, but in spite of these early plays going quite well, they are still trailing a little bit on the net worth, and that is concerning against Mag PA. This is a hero combination you kind of want to try to beat early, or at least in the mid-game, before PA truly takes off. And if you're also not going to get the Tormentor here, if Aurora make a move, they will.
Oh, RP from Toronto, Tokyo into Nightfall's arm. Panto again takes the kill. We've been seeing a lot of supports just casually get a kill just by accident, but they'll take it either way.
Oh, Yamich,
Avalanche on the Yamich.
Toss.
Gets tossed back. Ice Path is there as well. Boat coming in, only hits the one, but this is a really important target. The box saving the Tiny for the time being. Kiyotaka getting saved with the whip as well, and now you can see Nightfall just going ham on the back line. Gets one, and they have so much to work with. Rage forced out from Ghost. Looking for a potential infest target into Sumail. They'll get away, but Aurora getting pretty much everything they wanted.
3 kills and a Tormentor. Pretty good result here. Who are you hoping for the shard on? Probably... I guess you'd rather have the Jakiro one in general, but he only has level 1. Liquid Fire for now. It's still nice to be able to cast both of them, even if it's only level 1. But yeah, rather uncharacteristic here. Panto is maxing Ice Path. Most Jakiros we've been seeing have been maxing out Liquid Fire. So I wonder what the rationale is here, because this is not even an obvious Ice Path game since the enemy carries Lifestealer, and you're playing against Global Silence as well, so maybe you can't combo effectively. So I'd be curious to hear what the logic is behind that in this particular game.
Oh, Nightfall. He's found again. They're going to use the epicenter. They're going to use everything that they can because that is a very important kill again for NGX. Of course, he has his Battle Fury on the PA, but I think he's going SNY as a secondary item.
If he were... No, he's going BKB.
Okay, he changed it up.
He has the maybe he just bought the hammer after you said that, probably. Guess he's tired of getting killed. I can respect that.
Yeah, I mean, this is BKB's mandatory.
Yeah, he has to get that anyway. I don't think there's any point in buying SNY in this game, actually. You want to get one good burst off during RP and just kill heroes. And you know you have extra damage coming in from Empower, so you can... Theoretically, you can go for a little bit, a slightly more defensive build in general when you have Mag in your team. I think BKB is solid, and I think he shouldn't buy Sanjin Yasha at all this game. I think you just get BKB and then you go for bigger items. Some like true late game value. GH and Kiyotaka, this is not a fair fight.
Casual silencer here, trying to die to the Polywogs. but the toss should finish the job. Kiyotaka with a nice solo kill, and of course Ghost still, oh, he really needs this Sacred Relic. He's so close to finding it, but he's gonna find his way to the grave first. Only loses about 200, actually, a lot less than I thought.
But
still, that's 38 seconds of not getting farmed for the eventual Radiance.
that's the thing about these kills. You look at the numbers, you're like, oh, he only lost 200 and PA only gained 200. That's not a 400 gold kill. It's the 40 seconds that you're dead plus the travel time to get to the next camp is probably a minute. And if your GPM at this point in the game is like 500 or 600, then all of a sudden that kill is worth 1,000 gold rather than the 400. So makes a really, really big difference to find these cores early. And it is the reason that Nightfall isn't completely crushing this game in terms of net worth is the fact that Nigma managed to kill him twice. Otherwise, he would have easily had his BKB already. See him only being 600 shy of it at this point.
Dire are scanning.
And you know, we talked pre-game about how this is going to be a rough one for Nigma Galaxy off of overall draft. I think the hardest part is yet to come, and they are still already behind in this stage of the game. When PA gets BKB, you can literally just... Magnus can just take his target and they kill it. And I don't think Nigma can really counterplay it very easily. You can blink RP. You don't even need to skewer them back if PA is close, because PA herself has a built-in blink to follow through. So the skewer is not necessary compared to other carries that you need to bring the hero to. So I would love to see Nigma Galaxy try to... honestly press the issue at the moment they get Radiance and just try to fight their way back in the game. Because I think farming is not winning this game.
Yep, Noob found out. Gets off the blink, but Kiyotaka has a blink of his own. Another valuable kill going the way of Aurora as Kiyotaka let Mira have that one, actually. Very unusual for a core. Mira seems to really run a tight ship here for Aurora. Speaking of ships, that is a shark ship. Onto Panto. Is he going to actually survive this? The RP from Toronto Tokyo onto 2. Skewer next to their tier 1 towers. The TPs come in. Global Silence follows suit. GH is the trade. So far, just the support for support. As the Avalanche now from Kiyotaka finds the Tinker as Roche is going to throw him, but Nightfall gets the last hit. Roche really hungry for a kill. Not going to happen this time. Tier 1 tower for Aurora. 7K lead.
I don't think I've ever seen this before. I mean, it's also a new feature, but he died while Roche had him in his hand. I think the model just disappeared.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to click with those hitboxes, Cinderman. And they find another pickoff onto Noob, who's now in Struggle City. Bottom net worth for cores. You see the Roche replay. Let's see. Yeah, at this stage, you just hope that you've clicked on him beforehand. Well, the Radiance is online for NGX, but their Roche will be gone. I say their Roche. It's a neutral. It's our Roche.
Yep.
So likely...
it's so tough to contest this without saying, but they're
going to try. Company will actually want to try for this. The boat is coming in. Nightfall takes the Aegis. They get the Roche as well. And that's a newly picked up BKB from Nightfall. As Toronto Tokyo kind of stuck into the pit right now. Will skewer away, but he's going to take 2 members of NGX with him. He actually might live through this as the Wheel of Wonder is going to be placed. A beautiful whip from Mira as well. They're actually losing nobody on Aurora. That is insane. That was such a sick whip. And Aurora get away with murder, and the Aegis still on Nightfall.
Yeah.
I actually didn't notice. Did Nightfall just BKB TP? Or did he actually fight?
He did fight with his BKB.
He fought initially.
Yeah. He didn't TP at all, I think. He's just run over here. His TP is ready, so...
It's almost, casting him is quite the wonder.
Yeah.
Just assume things at this point. He could get a rampage. Like, did he BKB TP? Looks like he is going for the SNY.
If you think about the fight we just saw, Misery talked about this during the draft, that his concern for Nigma is how do they kill a hero without Epi? And that's kind of what happened exactly there. Sand King was dead. Aurora in the pit. Sumail goes in, casts all his stuff, goes in with his Shiva, and people just leave. They get boxed, or they skewer out, or they blink out. Just some serious damage issues here when Noob is on the sidelines, so gotta make sure your Sand King Gets caught less. He's got 6 deaths so far. He needs to get that Ags. It's almost there. That will be a massive damage upgrade, but you still got to kill people outside of the BKBs. You're not killing them in.
Avalanche into the ice path with the global silence to save Ghost. Using that in just a purely defensive way feels pretty bad. Now he'll have to infest a creep and exit. That's a big cooldown. Aurora can certainly take advantage. They're going to smoke up and look for a fight immediately. Though that ages for 3 minutes.
This is a 3-man move. Their other 2 heroes are far, far away.
Oh, I think they heard an infest here. Nope, they're going to go for Noob on the Sand King. Feels like we've seen this a time or two this game. Oh, they get to the high ground. The Sumail is waiting for them as well. Ghost Ship is coming. Noob, he's going to eventually tick out. Oh, did I say that? RP onto 2 in a very awkward spot in the corner. And that is going to lead to a double kill for Nightfall. And Sumail now surrounded by enemies, gets off the Blade Mail, but it's just a matter of time. Attempts to TP, but they have plenty of ways to cancel that. Kiyotaka gets credit for another. So 3-0, Aurora favored again.
He actually died to the Yules. He got
really?
Yuled at like 10 or 15% health, but the rum was ticking while he was in the air, so he died from the landing damage. It's pretty rare nowadays to see that. It's 50 magic damage, but got the job done there and then.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now a tier 2, in all likelihood going the way of Aurora.
Yep.
And, I mean, how much more can they get with this Aegis? There's a tier 2 bottom and top still remaining.
I think as long as they have all their spells ready and they keep good formation, they can take whatever they want with their Aegis, including even the enemy high ground, but they have RP on cooldown, so they're not going to go there. But the tier 2 towers, I would still imagine, are within their grasp, at least one of them with this Aegis. But let's see if the high ground is on the cards here. Considering how Nightfall is sticking around this mid area as much as he is, it does feel like that's the plan, that they want to find any sort of pick off here and then just go for the base. And there's the smoke. Bring in Toronto, Tokyo into it.
And Kiyotaka toss back onto Sumail, gets off the Shivas. Getting clipped by the Ice Path, gets the tidal wave onto Tiny, and now the open wounds from Ghost are going to try to apply as much pressure to the Tiny as possible, but the global silence, and now the fight has changed places. Nightfall, nobody wants to deal with him because he has that Aegis. Toronto Tokyo, the beautiful skill with the Avatos to follow. Epicenter a little bit late, and now the BKBs come out. Panto, the lone casualty for Aurora, as GH gets deleted. Noob currently infested, currently tossed, and soon to be currently dead. Nightfall gonna clean this up. RP just for the Lifestealer. Does not have Infest to work with, so this should very well be a team wipe. Trying to give it to Nightfall, but Kiyotaka takes it with a toss. 5 for 1. And guess what? Aegis still there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they have the glyph here to wipe out the wave. Oh, wow, okay. Our Aurora actually is going to fall back. No, it's just the Tiny going back. I'm a little bit surprised to send Tiny back to defend out of all heroes here because he does pose quite a bit of building threat. I suppose he doesn't have his shard. So, okay. They don't even get the tower. I'm
That's
surprised.
surprising. I mean, the death timers are a bit low as well at the moment.
It's fine. I don't mind it. I think showing discipline is obviously a good trait here, and it would be a mistake to overstay. It just took longer than I was anticipating.
Imagine Aurora with constant discipline. Just imagine the possibilities for this team.
Yeah. Well, the ceiling is high, that's for sure. And I wonder what they're going to do now. They know they're ahead. They know they're far ahead. They might not realize it's almost 20K, but these players are very experienced, so they should have a feeling of at least we're crushing. So I wonder if you're planning to just map control until next Roche, or if you are going to be eager to just fight because you feel like you kind of are in an unlosable position almost. Can be a bit telling about teams how they approach situations like this. It can be just as telling how you play when you're absolutely destroying your opponent as how you're playing in a close game about the overall team mentality is. Knowing Aurora, I don't think they're just going to sit back and farm for next Roche. I think that's something you would more likely see out of a team like Falcons in a game position like this. I think Aurora's DNA is more of, all right, guys, we're owning them. Let's try to finish the game. And that's what's costing them games sometimes.
Yep.
And it's also what's making their average game time short sometimes is that, well, they
Horn
convert on a lot of
toss
the time.
into the RP, and the damage from Nightfall, it is enough. Thought he was going to get the infest off, but not happening. 50 seconds of no life stealer, 5v4.
The wave mid on the way, and this time there's no glyph.
And this time they have Mr. Tiny with the damage rune as well. And they're going to find a Tinker on the way. And this should be Elena Rax at the very least.
Has fallen.
You're right, Kiyotaka's still without the shard. It's a bit awkward, I guess.
It's kind of standard for mid tiny,
Yeah.
though, right? Like, is it worth spending 1,400 on that? Maybe sometimes. All right, first lane of the game. They can't get more, but the 2 tier 2s on the side lanes are still up.
Tower is under attack.
Call it a win. TP back. And start going to work down bottom with Nightfall. So maybe just going to push this through and try to get that tier 2 tower without the Aegis. He obviously has Satanic, so he's feeling extremely powerful. If they don't 100-0 him with an Epicenter, he genuinely cannot die. I think that's the only way this carry will die from Aurora's side. It's full-on dropping everything on him perfectly with Global. And even then, it could still go wrong. He gets a little bit lucky. You might not kill him off fully, and he'll pop BKB Satanic, hit you twice, and be back to full. And then the fight's over.
Well, Nightfall's actually prioritizing MKB for the Radiance, I suppose.
Yep. Fine. Pretty standard.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Figured he might go Basher. I guess they do have plenty of stuns,
They have
though.
so many stuns, yeah. I think this is a better purchase overall. It doubles against laser as well, right?
Bottom tower.
Yeah, true. And the 25 level talent for Sand King, which we
Yeah.
will not be seeing this game. Prediction.
Yeah. And if he were to get to 25, he also wouldn't pick it. So,
True.
absolutely.
Yeah,
will
because he has MKB. You're right.
not. Yeah, that's definitely why. That 25 talent on Sand King has got to be up there with the best talents of the entire patch, right? The 10 Epicenter Pulses one is incredible.
I don't know if it would make top 10, I'll be honest.
You don't think so?
I'm not saying it's not good.
It's really good.
There's insane 25 talents, though.
The thing is, the way Epicenter works, the pulses get bigger every time, right?
Yeah.
So that's why this 10 extra pulses isn't just,
I feel like it
you
used to be
do
8.
50%
It
more
used
damage.
to be 8 back in the day.
AoE is obscure.
Yeah. It's
And
obscure.
That's the wrong word. Absurd. It covers almost the entire screen when you have the 25 talent. Absolutely obscure. As is this smoke.
Desperation Smoke
Yeah.
from NGX. Sumail leading the way. They need this to go perfectly. It doesn't look like they'll find anyone, though. And yeah, we'll see about Roche. Could spawn in the next minute and a half. Now we have a counter smoke from Aurora. Okay, Roche has landed.
I mean, this is very telegraphed, right? From the side of Nigma Galaxy. Aurora knew this was going to be an attempt. They're not showing anyone mid. The wave is pushing through the...
Another
Where else
smoke
would they
from
be?
NGX is Toronto Tokyo. Ooh. Actually had a good opportunity there, but they have the toss back onto 2 with the Avalanche. And now the fight's a bit segregated. Global Silence goes off as Ghost in a battle against Kiyotaka, just kiting, waiting out the Global Silence. Now the Avalanche comes in. Nightfall deletes Yamich. There's the skewer onto 2 with the RP to follow. Wheel of Wonder, why not? 3 dead for NGX. Noob Epicenter is not even going to be cast. GG's called. Aurora dominating game number 1.
Yeah. I mean, that was... I'm not going to say this one was always going to be easy.